Hi, my name is the Drifter18. This is Contra 3 on hard any percent, ran on the Super Nintendo. We'll be starting out on 7 lives, and the timer starts when you first control the character. So I usually put a 7.8 second delay on the timer, so when you press start it'll sync up. So I'm just going to play this video. Here's my PB. And I'll commentate over that. So here we go. So stage 1, it's pretty much the same as it's been for the last few years. You just want to get get the barrier, and then you want to get the spread guns here. And then as soon as I get the spreads, you'll notice at the top left there, when I shoot the guns, I usually always swap them. That's because when you swap them, it'll actually pretty much get rid of the cooldown that would normally be there if you were just to use one of those guns. So you can shoot twice as fast, essentially. You'll also notice I just skipped the tank. Normally, taking the tank is if you skip the tank, it's a second faster than riding in the tank. Because the walk speed is slightly faster than the tank. So here we go. We got our first crush. Crush is the strongest weapon in the game. You actually have to pick up the barrier here to get through this fire section in the hard mode. On easy and I believe on normal mode, you don't have to get the barrier. So here's our first little mini boss. It goes down really easy with the one crush and the spread. Now we're going to be able to get our second crush. So you'll notice when the crush gun hits something, it'll cause an extra explosion. The explosion actually deals damage on contact, so that's one of the reasons why it's so strong. And you can fire, I believe, up to six crush missiles on screen. But there will be a cooldown unless you are basically point blank with an enemy. So there's a fire skip. You have to wait for that last fire section, but all the other fireballs we were able to walk or to jump over, basically. Saves, I believe, 7 seconds doing that skip. So here you have the turtle here on hard mode. He has a lot more attacks that he'll do. So right there, he shot some bullets, and he was about to shoot his giant laser. That was pretty good. Good luck. On the other categories, you could get point blank and shoot the turtle, but he still has a pretty high chance of shooting you with the bullets. Stage 2, you always want to start top left, and the way it spawns in is RNG, so you have to move to that spot quickly. And you'll notice I'm walking diagonally here. When you walk diagonally, it actually moves faster. And there's certain pods here that behave differently. You notice that second pod I shot, I had to spin around to open it up. That's one of the weird spawns that it does, or weird RNG patterns. It was a decent level. And in this boss, you always just have to do a 180 when you start the fight. You'll have the eyes facing you every time. It's really easy taking out these bosses with double crush, as you can see. You want to try to not overshoot the bosses as well, because it'll cause additional lag. You have to time your shots, kind of. Alright, so going on into stage 3. Stage 3, there's not a lot of RNG here at all. There's only a few parts that have RNG, and that's coming up here shortly. There's a laser there, but it's a good backup to get if you were to lose a crush somewhere along the way. But these mosquito guys are RNG the way they spawn in, and they just pretty much try to come in and grab you and carry you off screen. As long as you're kind of jumping and shooting, you should be alright. And there you go, one cycle on that guy. So you have to actually see this guy a couple more times here. So that was the first phase of him, and now he's going to be jumping up to the second phase. So this is just a really big kind of auto-scroller section here. And you don't want to shoot your gun because it will cause lag. So basically the strat is just to follow his top leg up whenever he moves up, and then stay still when he moves his bottom one. And the missiles will always just go right around you. So yeah, this is a really good section for donations because it's pretty boring. But yeah, once this guy opens up, you want to shoot him there, and then you kind of want to bait him into moving upwards, and then you have to move downwards because he'll pretty much try to copy your movements. And here, you can pretty much always get through that section, that little climb there without getting hit with the bullets if you climb really quickly. And we have the UFO. The UFO is pretty much no RNG on it whatsoever, so you just got to get your shots off perfectly. Like that. That's really good. And then you get a barrier here. Don't have to get it, but it makes this section way easier. Coming up here, there is a ledge skip you can do. Like that. It saves a jump, so maybe a second of time. Upcoming here, we got the twins fight. They have a certain pattern you want to get. You want, yeah, that pattern right there, where they're both kind of lined up, so you can kill them both at the same time. There's another pattern where the red guy will jump to the ceiling. That's the worst pattern. So here we go. We got the final boss fight. There's no RNG whatsoever to this fight. Just kind of shoot him from the top, drop down, shoot him from the bottom. You have double crush. It's pretty much free fight every time. And during these little like scoring transitions here, you won't always want to be pressing start to make that load faster. Here you get a chance of getting a crush or a spread there every time. It's 50-50 chance. The motorcycle guys that are shooting diagonally, those guys will always shoot bullets, and then the guys that are kind of always horizontal always throw bombs. So these guys jump in, and then the tank spawns in. You just want to take out the top guys so they don't kill you as you're shooting the tank. And here we got another auto-scroller section. Those lasers are basically invincible in hard mode. They have more health than the boss, I believe, or the final boss in the end of the game. Or very close to it. So here, as long as you stay right, you can avoid that tail thing there. The acrobat is the black ninja there. You want to try to shoot him as quickly as possible without him jumping around. It's pretty good pattern there. The laser here, you can just shoot. Otherwise, if you don't shoot it in time, it will kill you. The roller skater. You can actually kill him before he jumps up, but it's very, very hard to do. There's a little bit of crush RNG because the way the explosions happen are completely random, so they don't deal the same damage every time. As you can see there at the bottom of the screen, how they're exploding. The more of those that are making contact with the enemy, the more damage it's doing. So, yeah, that jetpack ninja guy is really easy to take out. As long as you take him out before the helicopter reaches the top of the screen, you're good. So we got the final boss, not the final boss, the boss of this stage. You want to take out those turrets that are at the bottom and the top to get rid of the barrier. And then you want to shoot the center. You want to shoot from the middle missile. That lets you deal the most damage. Decent there. Sometimes the very end when you spawn to the missile, it can randomly kill you. Like it'll just like think you like jumped off the screen or something, or jumped off the missile or something. So here we have stage 5. It's another top-down level. We want to stop the. I start from the top left. You can actually start from the right side if you feel like it. But I like starting from this side because it'll give you a little bit of invulnerability as you're walking across the first little ledge section. And once again, you want to walk diagonally to walk fast here. And then there's a ledge skip right there. Pretty good level. And that pod always drops a laser or a flame. So here in hard mode, the sand will actually try to spin you. Oh, yikes. Okay, so it lost a crush. But yeah, as long as you use the double tap on the trigger to lock yourself in place, you can shoot the center eye. But there is some RNG involved, whether he shoots the fire, and you have to duck that. But yeah. Stage 6, here we go. This is one of the more scarier levels. So right here, those guys all spawn in randomly. That guy, the way he opens his mouth is RNG, so sometimes you can get a fast pattern. Wasn't the greatest pattern there. There's always a crush there. You want to try to take out these mouths, or at least I tried to take out those mouths, because they spawn those little red orbs there that try to run after you and kill you. I'll try to get rid of those like that. And then we got the heart. Try to get through there without a bomb. You want to try to save your bombs for the end fight here. And get another bomb there. And here we have the golden beast. There's a bit of RNG here, so once he charges, you want to jump towards his face and then shoot right into him. And then you gotta dodge these things that are falling. It's random which way they go, so very scary. Then we have the gargoyle. He always spawns in the same way. But depending on your crush RNG, might not be able to get that one cycle. And here we go. We go on to the queen. The queen's got the 2 arms there. We take out the left arm so we can just kind of mash into the brain there. And it's RNG whether or not he'll do a fully extended arm on that right arm over there. You just kind of have to hope that he doesn't do it. Or she, I should say. So next we got the brain. So the brain has, on hard mode, 8 different orbs, I believe. We want to get 3 red orbs and then the stone orb. So you can see here I'm kind of just mashing and jumping into it, try to get as much damage in as I can. And I'm using a bomb here to clear those red orbs that are kind of shielding the brain. That way you can deal more crush damage this way. You can actually do a bombless, but this is much safer. So you see here I'm laying flat, and those orbs there that are going around me are not killing me, because when you lay flat, your elbow actually becomes your hitbox. And the only part of those orbs that'll actually kill you is like the very center. So you're just barely out of range of it. So this should be the last section here. There we go. That was 4 cycles. So on hard mode, you get a secret boss fight that you don't normally get on easy and normal. Unless you're playing on the Japanese version. The Japanese version actually does have the extra boss fight in normal mode. But, so essentially the brain gets an armored shell and will chase after you here, and it pretty much only has 1 attack, and that'll just try to flail its arms at you. As long as you have double crush, you can just mash into him. I got really lucky there. I like to call that the high five. And here we have a bunch of explosions. And the timer ends once you lose control of the character. So once I turn left here, that's time. There you go. 14:30. Almost to 14:29. And yeah, that's hard mode. One of the toughest challenges on the Super Nintendo. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you consider adding this to the GDQ schedule. Thanks for watching.